Alright, so I'm making this video just so that I can help out one of my friends who's trying to get better at Street Fighter 6. We're just going to do all this here in one take. I'm not going to go and edit this pretty heavily, but I figured this is a good way to get someone who's trying to improve a general overview about how the game works so they can improve their mental model. So kind of a general game plan when you're playing Street Fighter 6. What your goal is to win neutral. You want to spend some resources and put the opponent in the corner. Generally, what this will be is doing a combo with your drive meter in order to get the damage and corner carry necessary to put them in the corner. You will gain resources back as you loop your corner pressure. So as you continue to throw them in the corner or attack them, you'll do options that don't spend meter, and that will get you to gain your drive bar back, and which you'll then decide to go and spend at the end of the round to kill them and close it out. Note that your super meter does not charge between rounds and it carries over, but your drive bar does come back full every single round. So most combos always will spend out the drive bar when they're going to close out the round, and if they're necessary at the end of them, someone will pick a route to go and spend the super bar if they want to go and close out the round. And you especially want to do this if you know you're going to close out the set. So the first step of this whole document here is to win neutral. So some things that characters will do in neutral are divided into these different categories that are based upon range. So far range, this is almost full screen. Let's write that here in the guide. So kind of what that would be is you're charging a stock, like if you're Jury and you're going to go and add your Fuha stocks, or you're like Guile and you're going to build like a Sonic Blade, something like this to go and buff you. You can do this from full screen. This is kind of risky because you're giving up stage control when you're doing this, but you can do this. And then one thing that characters will do as well from full screen is they'll throw a projectile just to try to go incite you to go and do something, and then what they'll do after they throw the projectile is then they will walk behind. So I'll put that here in parentheses. And that means that someone has to respond to the situation. So this is something that's pretty powerful for characters that have good projectiles that are slow, like a Ryu or a Guile or a Chun-Li. At medium range, this is like the range where you start the round. This is where most Street Fighter 6 neutral exchanges happen. What I would say, where people are calling it footsies. So there's a lot of walking around. So the spacing that people use is to try to stay out of the range of people's longest moves so you can bait a whiff. And you're either looking to whiff punish them, you're looking to poke someone with 5 medium K or 2 medium K while walking. You can do a drive rush here just to close the distance. You can throw your projectile again if you want something a little longer, which is kind of similar to a poke, or you can jump in at them. This is the range where a lot of people will go and jump, so you got to be looking out for anti-airs. And at close range, when someone's right up on your face, this is really common when someone's in the corner. You can drive rush at them to get plus frames, and then common to DR into overheads to allow them to combo. You can fish for a hit and just do combo starter moves on block. A lot of characters can go and do this and apply some pressure that way. You can use an invincible move as a reversal. So if you do something that's minus on their hit and it's not your turn and you think they're going to press a button, you can do an invincible move and take your turn back. You can grab them and throw them. And you can also walk up to them and you can jump over their heads, and then you can get them to go whiff and then punish with a jump in. So kind of all these here are really big options. On the right side of my screen here, what I've outlined are some items in neutral that we'll go track through some match analysis. I'm going to watch a Punk versus Chris Wong match, and then we'll look at how he likes to go and engage neutral. And then here we're going to look as well at the corner, and I'll type this out in a second, for what Punk likes to go use in order to go and get pressure in the corner. But in the corner, there's kind of a handful of different options. And then what you can do here is you're going to throw them. And we have what's called throw loops in Street Fighter 6 where you have enough frame advantage to walk up and throw someone. But kind of what happens there is if they backdash or if they tech it, then they can get away from it. You can shimmy them as the attacker, which means that you walk up to them and then you walk away from them. So you're blocking. But you can also attack out of the shimmy if the opponent does something kind of silly, or they whiff a grab bait, or they whiff an attack. So you want to stay in and out of the range, but you want to get close to them so they think you're going to throw. They're never going to do something stupid if they don't think that they're in a threat for them to go take the throw. So walking up is the really important part of the shimmy. And you can also walk up to them, and then you can do what's called a media attack, which is attacking them on wake up. So there's kind of three options here, right? There's throw, there's shimmy, which is the same as waiting, right? And then there's attack. So these are the three options they have in the corner. And I've linked a video right here in the guide. And this will show you just a different person's more edited notes. So it's not just raw and freeform like I'm talking to you right now, just a piece of paper. But this will show you how, just a different outline to how you can look at corner pressure. Because that's a really important part of the game. I'd say it's like 60% of the game. So here on this tab, right now this is Punk versus Chris Wong. And on the right side of the screen now, I have this guide here for neutrals, and I have a guide here for corners. So we're going to watch just a couple rounds of this match in slow motion, where I'm going to pause every time an interaction happens, and then I'm just going to note with a tally how these players are winning, and I'm going to be watching this here from Punk's perspective, and he is the Kami player. So let's turn down some of the volume so this doesn't get overpowering, and we'll watch. So at the beginning right now, they're playing footsies, right? Chris Wong, he did a crouching medium kick right here into drive rush. So right here, that would be a poke. And then now he's getting a combo. He spent his drive bar. 3 meters of drive bar was spent, and he's trying to put Punk in the corner, right? Punk tried to go and do a jump in. It didn't work, but he tried to go and do a jump in. So I'll just mark that as a 1. And then it got anti-aired by Chris Wong. So Chris Wong put him in the corner, right? And then he's doing a media attack right now. So again, right, doing all the attacking moves. Chris Wong is parrying. He's got his resources back from doing meterless pressure in the corner, right? So Punk here tried to do another poke in neutral, but it failed. And then now he's getting block punish, and Chris Wong is spending his resources here to close out the round. It all goes back to that same beginning game plan. Alright, let's watch this again here, and we'll see what they do in round 2. So Punk is doing some pokes, right? I'll count that as a second poke. And he tried to go and grab. And I'll add that in as another thing here. In neutral. But then he got whiff punished, right? So he's not winning these exchanges right now. He did a jump in. Chris Wong is far enough away. I'm going to call that not in the corner, right? They're in neutral. He keeps on trying to jump in. And he tried to poke, but he got counter hit there. And then he tried to jump again, right? So if we're looking here at some of these options, Punk has now tried to jump in. I've noted it here 4 times. I may not have gotten all of them, but Chris Wong is onto this, and he's watching out for these jump-in options that keep on getting repeated over and over again, and he's starting to stuff them. So this is what gets Chris Wong here this first set. But Punk isn't doing any of these other items as often, so he might change up his gameplay and adapt, right? So here, Punk got a poke, and actually that was a punish counter, so that was a whiff punish. So I'm going to count that as a whiff punish. So again, they're playing footsies here. He was trying to poke him with the spiral arrow, right? And then he got hit out of, or the spin knuckle, and then he got hit out of it. So he's trying to go and bait a whiff, right? And then how does he win the neutral? Let's figure this out. Or does he? Oh, he gets another jump in, right? So Punk is jumping in quite a bit, but he's staying on the ground a lot and picking different ranges to go jump in order to try to mix up Chris Wong. And then here, he did a shimmy here on offense. He wasn't quite in the corner, but he still got Oki. So I'm going to count this here as a shimmy. Now he's spending resources to put him in the corner. And he's going to do a jump in here, which I'm going to call that a meaty. And he gets him around the corner, and then he spends the resources in order to go and kill him. So let's watch this next round here. So he tried to go here for another poke. I'm not going to say he won the neutral, but this is an option that he went for. So I'll just count that here. He did a low poke in case Chris Wong was walking. He did the crouch median kick. And then he did a grab. A tick throw. Alright, he did a poke. He's doing a jump in. He's carrying him into the corner. So now he's poking, he's anti-airing him. So you got a whiff punish here on the anti-air. And then now he's applying some corner pressure. And then now he's spending resources in order to close out the round. Punk could have spent more in order to kill him, but then he goes for another poke. So if we're looking at Punk's game plan here, he's just kind of straight up fighting Chris Wong in order to go and try to kill him. He's not playing at the mid-range where Luke has pretty good buttons in order to whip punish Cammy. And Chris Wong is really good at whip punishing, so I think Punk wants to pick a closer game here. One where he can pick a range where he can go and change between these poke and this jump in type game plan. But he can also decide not to press a button, and he can go for this whip punish. So he's picking a range. Punk is picking a range to go and play at. Like this-ish range where they have the most options available. So Punk went for a poke with the jab, and then Chris Wong with punished him. Right? And then look at this, spent the drive meter. Now he's going to carry him to the corner. And look at that, one exchange, and Punk's already in the corner, and he's already getting thrown here on Chris Wong's offense.
Oh, wake up dive kick, that was nice. That's also the beat throw options as well. Exactly. Crush the legs too as well, just in case you want to throw low forward.
So let's watch for how they're going to play neutral. All right, he tried to go jump in, and then he got punished.
He's reading the shimmy attempts from Punk to guard. Punk's looking for the, instead of the throw, it's the crouch jab.
And then we'll back up here. I missed this one. So here he tried to grab him, and then he got a poke here in order to start his party.
Oh no! He wasn't expecting the punish counter, so he threw, and it was too early. Chris was still in hit stun, and Chris, with that standing medium kick, gonna take round number 1. Boy, slug. Let's go. Oh, that was a boost buffer for sure.
Watch him walk around again. Punk is trying to go and bait something here.
Name of the game is don't get cornered.
He's getting poked. He's getting poked.
Okay, string him up. We're trying to fill it out. The blocks. Walk up, block, don't do anything. Okay.
So Punk here got a whiff punish here. You can tell it's a whiff punish because it is a punish counter. And then now he did a meaty on Oki.
But just enough to get Chris Wong to be able to hang himself. Nice stuff. Back throw. Better than in a frame trap. I agree with that from Punk to guard.
Take the throw.
And look at that. Punk just walked himself out of the corner.
So now they're trying to whiff punish, which is why they're both punching in the same range. Punk just poked the ever-living crap out of him, right?
The sentry gun.
But then he got reversal on wake up.
Maybe try to read a drive rush, a raw drive rush.
Light bar is looking pretty.
Nice.
No punish though.
But he went for the bigger punish right there on that jab.
Light bar is still looking
And you can see how Chris Wong is playing this here, where he's trying to not get put into the corner. And that's helping him not get hit by this very simple corner offense that works at all levels of the game. The game is one that's actually fairly simple once people get into the corner.
DP has the anti-air. Oh, the stagger was so good, and no anti-air.
Okay, so now he throws him, and that's just a new option that he hasn't done, so Chris Wong just wasn't ready for it.
No stagger jabs is to throw off the perfect barrier. Yes. So he's conditioning him a little different now. Yeah,
So now he got a poke.
also just a tiny bit of a stagger there.
He continued just to do the pressure, right? Now he's going to throw him.
How many shimmies? Okay.
Now he's shimmying, but he's doing it into nothing, right?
the fact that he blocked that Chris Wong
Respecting Chris Wong's offense.
entire day, bro.
He's like, I'm not sure. Let me just block.
Yeah.
Chris tried to whip punch right there. There we go. Drive rush suppressor, and then Punk just jumps away.
See what they're doing? They aren't whiffing buttons because the other player is so good at whip punching. Punk with one button in like 30 seconds of neutral, and then Chris Wong was ready to go and whip punish it.
That drive gauge back.
So all these whip punish attempts here where you're baiting in neutral, they work really well at the top level once people's reactions are tuned and they know the ranges of the moves.
Oh, no DP. I like that. The neutral jumps. I mean, Chris has been going for that a couple of times. So I'm pretty sure he's trying to bank on Punk to guard with a spin knuckle or a DP. Right. The fact that he's just landing and blocking, right, to get the punish possibly.
Is looking at each other.
Oh, man.
Looking longingly into each other's eyes.
Neutral game is so good. This guy's good.
They're playing a very defensive game. They're trying not to get whip punished because they know with the full drive bars here that they have, A lot of resources are going to get spent. Punk's taking a risk, and he runs up to go grab him.
Of course, Cammy's dive kick.
Oh, and he does a drive impact, and now he's spinning.
Is this gonna kill? Is this going to kill?
I think so.
All of the options. This is new in the set, right? Chris Wong wasn't ready for it.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Ooh.
Here we go. Here we go.
It's alright, it's alright. Chip is there.
And Chris Wong got no meter, so he just needs one clean hit. Don't spin knuckle, do not get thirsty.
Woo. And then he gets the trade to go and win. And really, there's the rest of a set available to go and watch, but just looking here at these different options that I've outlined, you can see once they're in the corner, it's pretty good to weight these, maybe not the drive impact one, but these ones here fairly evenly. It keeps your opponents guessing. Some characters is better to go and do certain ones than the other ones, and a lot of it depends on your opponent's playstyle, so there's no hard and fast rule. In neutral, your character strengths will be the ones that will go and play to what your character's tool set is. So for a character like Cammy, who has really good fast buttons, something like poking, jumping in, and whiff punishing are really the best options for her. And if you get close, you can go and mix up the jabs and the grabs. But her drive rush isn't quite as useful because she's really good at playing that footsie's neutral game. She generally will have the advantage there, so she's not trying to drive rush at you like a jury player is, or a DJ player is, to go and try to skip this footsie's portion of the game. So that's what I got here. Hope you learned something. We'll cut the video off now. Alright, talk to you later. See you guys.